There is a strange and powerful force that governs your success, and that force is silence. Not the silence of fear, not the silence of inaction, but the silence of strategic wisdom. Men who have climbed to the peaks of power have not done so by announcing every move to the crowd. They have done so by holding their desires tightly within, nursing them like a sacred flame, unseen by the wind, protected from the noise of doubters and the envy of weaker minds. Every word you speak about your vision gives a piece of it away, and when you speak too soon to too many, you trade your drive for applause, your energy for empty approval, your focus for shallow reactions from those who neither built with you nor bled with you. The dreamer must know that his vision is not meant for every ear. His plan is a blueprint, and blueprints are not passed out to strangers. They are guarded until the structure is built. The greatest empires were not built under public observation. They were built behind stone walls, where the architects worked in secrecy, away from distraction, away from gossip, away from judgment. Those who share their every step before they've taken it rob themselves of momentum, for the mind, when it speaks too early, becomes convinced the work is already done. That feeling of premature satisfaction is a thief. It steals the fire from the furnace, and it leaves you with the illusion of progress and the emptiness of regret. You must decide now whether you are building to impress or building to succeed. You must ask yourself if the opinions of the world are worth more than the voice inside that says, "I am not done yet." There is a sacredness to struggle, and it loses its power when placed under a spotlight. Struggle must be quiet. Growth must be secret. Breakthroughs are made in silence and revealed in triumph. The more people you let in too early, the more weight you place on your own back. Suddenly, you're not just building for your future, you're performing for their expectations. Keep your next move to yourself. Let your results be your voice. Let your work speak when your words would be wasted. You owe no one your blueprint. You owe yourself the discipline to follow it. There is a power in moving quietly, like a lion in tall grass, watching, planning, preparing. Speak only when it is time to roar. Until then, build with your hands, think with your heart, move with intention, and keep your dreams hidden from the storm of careless mouths. What they don't know, they can't stop. What they can't see, they can't sabotage. What they never hear, they can never ruin. Let them watch the result, not the recipe. Let them see the castle, not the bricks. The man who tells everything invites interference. He becomes a magnet not of opportunity, but of distraction. The moment you open your mouth to broadcast the matters of your life, you place your most delicate plans in the hands of others, some careless, some critical, some envious, and some outright destructive. The subconscious mind responds with exactness to your dominant thoughts, but it also recoils when your energy is scattered among many listeners. Each person you speak to takes a portion of your enthusiasm, a slice of your vision, a breath of your conviction, and soon there is nothing left but fragments of what once was whole. There is a law that governs the mind, and it is this: concentrated focus births results, but divided attention brings delay. The more you explain, the less you execute. The more you reveal, the less you retain. Talking becomes a substitute for doing. Words become your reward instead of results. And the people you think will support you often carry seeds of doubt that take root in your confidence, not out of malice, but ignorance. For most minds are not trained to see what you see. They have not paid the price to understand the vision. So they speak from the limitation of their own experiences, not the expansion of yours. The man who guards his progress understands timing. He does not speak in the spring, for the harvest has not yet come. He works silently, waters diligently, and speaks only when the fruit hangs heavy on the branches. He understands that energy once expressed must be replenished, and so he does not waste his fuel trying to explain a path only he was meant to walk. He lets success be the messenger. He lets achievement carry the weight of explanation. He lets the world observe the results and draw its own conclusions. Those who rise above the noise do so by remaining detached from it. They do not need to be seen before they arrive. They do not need applause while still climbing. They find power in secrecy, for secrecy builds strength, and strength builds certainty. Certainty is the great magnet that draws all things to it, and it is grown in quiet places, away from the chatter of the crowd. One must understand that every premature announcement is a leak in the vessel of purpose. It drains the intensity, weakens the resolve, and creates expectations that do not serve the builder but the observer. The moment you speak your plans, they begin to lose power. The mind releases its tension. The fire begins to cool the urgency, diminishes the subconscious, no longer feels the drive to act for it, believes the work is already done. Praise without progress is poison to the doer's satisfaction from sharing, becomes a false reward. It replaces the necessity of results. The world does not need your plans, it needs your transformation. A man does not become wise by announcing his ideas. He becomes wise by applying them in silence, by testing them in solitude, by refining them in the crucible of self-discipline. The soul finds strength, not in expression, but in restraint. Greatness is not grown in discussion, but in decision. A man builds his future brick by brick, not word by word. The one who speaks too much of his intentions begins to crave validation more than victory, and that is the death of momentum. Path of success requires intensity, not commentary execution, not explanation. Those who master their desires learn to feed their vision, not with words, but with action. Each time you explain your dream to someone, you are offering them a chance to dissect it, question it, doubt it, twist it, and their opinion becomes a mirror that reflects uncertainty back into you, not because they are evil, but because they do not see what you see. Their belief is not required. Their understanding is not necessary. The only approval you need is the one you give yourself in the mirror when no one is watching, no applause, no nod, no praise, only purpose. The man of power is not interested in impressing others with what he plans to do. He is interested in astonishing them with what he has already done. His success is the echo of 10,000 silent mornings spent in quiet labor. His results are the signature of discipline, not conversation. Every man must choose between recognition and realization, between fame and fulfillment, between noise and mastery. Do not give away your energy in words. Invest it in your work every second spent. Explaining could have been spent executing every moment. Spent updating could have been spent upgrading. The more you talk, the more you give away. Your fire energy is currency, and every time you speak your ambitions out loud, you are spending that currency on ears that do not care, mouths that will twist it, minds that will doubt it. People are not always listening to support. They are listening to compare, to compete, to sabotage. And the wise man understands this. He builds in silence, not out of fear, but out of focus. Silence is not weakness. Silence is a weapon. It is the sharpest tool in the arsenal of the disciplined man. The louder the dreamer, the slower the progress. The quiet man is busy. The loud man is often bluffing. True power moves in shadows. It does not demand attention. It commands it through evidence, results, achievement, not noise. The roots of a strong tree grow underground unseen, unheard, and yet they hold the entire structure with strength unshakable. So too must a man grow himself in silence, first in obscurity, first in solitude, first because that is where character is formed, where resilience is built, where purpose is purified. And any dream exposed too early becomes a target. A premature vision becomes vulnerable, and vision without protection invites destruction. When you speak too soon, you open the door to resistance, to doubt, to distraction. Every time you explain your mission, you allow space for contradiction, and contradiction weakens intention. The strongest desire is the one held within until it becomes undeniable. Through action, men who build empires rarely announce them in advance. They build brick by brick while the world sleeps, while the crowd laughs, while the skeptics mock, and by the time the results appear, it is already too late for opposition to stop it. Greatness does not ask for permission. It is earned in private, revealed in public, and remembered forever. Those who know where they are going do not need to scream. They walk the path and the world eventually follows. When it sees the dust of their footsteps, never forget that energy flows where attention goes, and attention divided is energy weakened. Your mouth should not be the outlet of your dream. Your work should be talk less, do more. The ones who speak least often do the most, because their time is sacred, their dream is sacred, and they will not cheapen it by offering it to those who have not earned the right to hear it. You do not need everyone to understand you. You need only yourself to believe in the mission with such conviction that it becomes impossible to ignore, not because you talked about it, but because you became it. The work you do in silence becomes the legacy you leave in history while others waste breath. You breathe life into your mission. While others share goals, you sharpen your tools. And one day they will ask, "How did you do it?" And the answer will echo in the silence. You never broke the silence that built the foundation of everything they now admire, not because you said it, but because you lived it. The man who understands the power of his own words becomes the master of his destiny. Words are not merely vibrations, they are commands to the subconscious, and the subconscious does not differentiate between whispers and declarations, between idle chatter and sacred intentions. What you speak, you summon. What you reveal, you release. And once released, your vision is no longer solely yours. It becomes shared, dissected, questioned, weakened by the interpretations of others. The most potent energy is conserved energy, just as the river carves stone, not by loudness but persistence, so too does the quiet man shape his reality by consistent effort, not constant explanation. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is incubation. The place where clarity forms, where distractions are starved and conviction is fed in the soil of silence. The seed of ambition grows free from the trampling feet of opinion and the biting winds of judgment. Great men do not reveal their plans. They reveal their results. The world remembers those who acted, not those who explained every step of the way. The man who speaks too soon offers his vision to the winds, and the winds are unkind. They scatter dreams. They carry them to lands where they are not honored or understood to protect your vision. You must guard your voice. Speak only to build, not to boast, not to validate, not to impress, for validation is the enemy of focus, and those who chase applause delay progress. A dream shared with the wrong ears becomes a burden instead of a blessing. The more you talk, the more you dilute the essence of what must be done, and action must never be diluted. It must be distilled, concentrated, and directed with unwavering force. The quiet man becomes the powerful man because he channels all that would be wasted in words into the forge of discipline, into the fire of action. The furnace of silence is where greatness is molded. For in silence there is no audience. There is no applause. There is only the work, only the struggle, only the will to persist, and that is where the mind sharpens. That is where the soul strengthens in the stillness between moments when the world is unaware that a force is rising, not with noise, but with purpose. To tell the world of your steps before you walk them is to tempt resistance before you are ready to withstand it. Share your journey only when it is a testimony, not a plea for recognition, when your footsteps have become footprints on the path of legacy and no longer need explaining the wise. Do not reveal their battles before they are won, because they understand that the world honors victory, not intention, and the silent climb leads to the loudest triumph. When it is time to speak, the results will do it for you louder than your words ever could. And by then you will not need to speak at all. To share your plans prematurely is to weaken them in their infancy. Every idea is born fragile, like a flame exposed to the wind. Too soon it flickers and fades before it has had the chance to grow into fire. The man who understands the laws of success knows that silence is not concealment. It is protection. The beginning of anything great must be guarded, not advertised. When you speak too much about your vision, you invite energies that can distort it. Jealousy, doubt, ridicule. The subconscious absorbs all of it, and soon the mind begins to question what it once believed with clarity. What was once a vision now becomes a negotiation between desire and the fear of judgment. There is a sacredness in keeping your goals to yourself, until they are fortified by action, until your confidence is no longer built on the approval of others, but on the foundation of results. The strong do not seek reassurance. They seek solitude. They seek focus. They understand that the road to greatness is often walked alone, not because others won't understand, but because the energy must be preserved for the climb. Every word you speak takes energy from the act of doing. Every explanation you give to someone who cannot see your vision steals power from your will to execute that vision. Think of the inventor who works in silence while others laugh at his absence. Think of the warrior who trains in the shadows while the crowd cheers louder. Warriors think of the mountain that grows higher in stillness while the world forgets it even exists. And then one day it erupts not with words, but with undeniable force. So too must your journey unfold in quiet resolve. Every hour spent talking is an hour taken from building. Every conversation about your goals is a transaction that trades power for momentary comfort. The mind is a garden, and not every passerby deserves to know what you're planting. Some will trample it, some will uproot it out of envy. Some will simply poison it with their disbelief. The wise man speaks after he acts, not before he lets the results tell the story. He lets the outcomes validate the process. He lets his discipline be the proof of his conviction, and in that he commands a level of respect no words could ever demand. There is a stillness in power, a confidence that does not need to broadcast itself, and that is what makes it unstoppable. When you stop telling everyone what you're building, you start building with a level of peace. No opinion can disturb when you no longer speak your dreams. You begin to live them, and when they are real, when they are solid, when they breathe life into others, you will find that the world will ask you how you did it, and you can simply smile and say, "I worked in silence while others were speaking." To reveal your intentions to those who have not earned the right to hear them is to scatter your energy like seeds on barren soil. What does not fall on fertile ground is wasted, and what is wasted diminishes your power. Your desire, your burning definiteness of purpose thrives in solitude. It grows stronger when kept within, not because it is weak, but because it is sacred. The man who understands this guards his ambitions like a treasure, not out of fear, but out of reverence. He knows that every spoken word has a vibration. Every conversation about your dream becomes a spiritual transaction. Some people may nod in support, but their inner doubt becomes a weight upon your own belief. Every time you speak of what you will do before doing it, you send a signal to the subconscious mind that the reward has already been claimed. The mind feels the false pleasure of accomplishment and begins to relax. The urgency weakens the fire, cools, and the drive softens. Success demands tension. The crowd does not need to know your path because the crowd will never walk it. The masses prefer comfort to conquest. They will question your sacrifice because they do not know the joy of overcoming. They will resist your hunger because it reminds them of their own complacency. So what reason do you have to share your mission with those who cannot comprehend the altitude you aim to reach when the eagle prepares for flight? It does not call the flock. It rises alone, and so must you let your silence offend them, let your absence disturb them, let your work speak so loudly they cannot deny what they once dismissed. Do not be seduced by premature applause. It is the applause of those who clap for potential, but never for process. Let them see the outcome, not the blueprint. Let them watch the transformation, not the struggle. Greatness is not born in conversations. It is born in decisions, and every decision you make in secret builds the structure of a legacy that cannot be shaken by opinions or envy. Guard your ideas with discipline. Protect your vision with intention. Speak less, do more, accomplish first. And when the time comes, when the results are too loud to be ignored, then and only then you may speak, and even then speak with humility, for the mountain does not shout that it is tall. It simply rises while the world looks up in awe and wonders how it got there. The mind functions best when it is undivided and uncluttered. Every time you share your personal journey with those who do not understand or value its purpose, you risk contaminating your thoughts with the seeds of their doubts. And when those seeds take root, they produce the weeds of hesitation, fear, and second-guessing. The most fertile soil of success is the mind that is nourished by purpose and protected from pollution. What you allow into your mental garden will grow, whether it serves you or sabotages you. Therefore, it becomes your sacred duty to shield your thoughts from those who cannot see your vision as clearly as you do not, because they are evil or malicious, but because they have not developed the same inner lens to see the future that you have crafted in detail. Every word you speak about your goals either strengthens your resolve or weakens it. When you talk too often about what you are going to do, your subconscious begins to believe you have already achieved it, and the hunger that fuels action is replaced by the satisfaction of premature celebration. Success does not respond to noise. It responds to focus, to repetition, to discipline, to the unwavering belief that what is unseen is more real than what is already visible. The man who tells everyone his destination before he begins the journey has already surrendered part of his power for applause, an invisible thief that takes from the bank of ambition before interest has had time to compound. Most people speak of their dreams to receive encouragement, to feel validated, to gain approval from others. But what they fail to see is that the process of seeking validation weakens the foundation of self-confidence. The dream that needs applause to survive is not yet ready to manifest, because true visionaries are fueled by inner fire, not external compliments. The fire must be so intense that even in isolation, in the absence of praise, in the presence of setbacks, the dream keeps burning brighter than ever before. The world has always doubted the silent ones until their results make silence impossible, and even then it is not their words that convert the doubters. It is the undeniable manifestation of what once existed only in their minds. When you remain quiet about your progress, you grant yourself the luxury of evolving without judgment, of failing without ridicule, of restarting without shame. You give yourself the freedom to refine your craft without the pressure to perform for an audience that is only watching for entertainment, not understanding. Each quiet step becomes stronger, each decision more deliberate, each sacrifice more meaningful, because it is made not for recognition, but for the advancement of the mission. And when you finally arrive at your destination, you will not need to